Welcome back again today, friends. I am making, guess what? So many mega massive freezer meals. Oh, yes, I am. In today's massive mega freezer meal cooking, I am sharing over 300 servings of massive freezer meals that I have made for my family of 10. We are featuring Trim Healthy Mama Hangry pockets. We do those in a variety of recipe configurations. We're also making big batch chicken pot pie filling to have chicken pot pie ready on the go with any kind of topping I'd like to do for my family. We do many shepherd's pies, also sloppy joes for the freezer, big batch chili, and many other freezer cooking adventures. I have a household of 10 currently, and I feed on any given day up to 10 and 15 folks. I started out doing freezer meals about 20 years ago now. For my then smallish standard size family, just doing one for now, one for later freezer meals, and over the years it has grown to where I'll do 30 to 40 large family freezer meals at any given time that can feed my family in a variety of ways over 8 to 12 weeks. It doesn't mean that we eat 100% freezer meals, but let me tell you, 3 to 4 days a week if we need freezer meals, or if all of life crashes and we need freezer meals 7 days in a row. I am always super glad when I have a freezer full of meals. Some of these freezer cooking recipes is me adapting Trim Healthy Mama recipes from my very favorite Trim Healthy Mama starter book, which I will have linked for you in the description below. Many of these other big batch freezer meal recipes are from my blog, largefamilytable.com, and I'll also link those below for you too. Okay, friends, let's get big batch freezer cooking, yay. So I am so excited because this first recipe that we are doing has many variations and I've never made it before, so this will be new for both of us, but it's called Hangry Pockets. And it says, think of Hangry Pockets as your THM frozen dinners. When you are hangry, let these pockets come to your rescue. They'll keep you from grabbing potato chips or stopping at a fast food restaurant on the way home. Come home, pop them in the oven, and in a short while you'll sit down to a tasty, filling, blood sugar friendly meal. So what these are, they've got 4 steps of directions, and here's a picture. So apparently we are going to take parchment paper, our favorite, and they have some different suggestions, and I would like to try to make all of these. Now the Philly cheesesteak ones, I do have some of that sliced beef in my freezer. I didn't set that out to defraud, story of my life. They have a Philly cheesesteak Hangry pocket, they have a pizza chicken, they have a turkey taco, and a fish and rice variety. Those are the 4 that they have, and again, because I haven't made these before, I don't have any other variations yet, but I'm sure we'll get some. And we're gonna follow these 4 basic steps to the Hangry Pocket. Number 1, we're gonna choose our protein. Then we're gonna choose our non-starchy vegetables, an optional grain or diced sweet potato. Then we're gonna choose our favorite flavorings and healthy fats. It says use plenty of good mineral salt, a teaspoon of fat such as butter or coconut oil for an E, or fuel pool 1 to 2 tablespoons for an S. Fold and bake. So we're gonna fold our parchment paper. I'll read you this story once we get going. We're gonna fill it with our ingredients, and then I will probably bake a sampling of them. And so it looks like if they're not frozen, it says 400 for 15 to 20 minutes, or 35 to 45 minutes frozen. And back to the Hangry packets. It says here they've included the 4 examples, but feel free to use your own creativity. Always include protein, lots of veggies, more than you think since they will shrink when they cook down. Some nice fats for an S, healthy carb for an E. Just be sure to keep the meat pieces small for quick cooking. Use cube chicken or tenderloins rather than large breast. Fish fillets work great. You can even use raw ground meat if you crumble it. You really can't mess these up if you're feeling super lazy. That's my favorite, and you don't want to chop veggies. Use the pre-chopped frozen veggies such as the veggie blend. Alrighty. Went grocery shopping in my basement grocery store. Got us all kinds of supplies for doing the Hangry Pockets. Yes, that's what I decided we're gonna go with first. So let me show you what we picked up downstairs. Over on the Trim Healthy Mama channel, they have a video where Pearl and Serene make some of the Hangry pockets, and they show exactly how to fold them in the parchment paper. That's where I was confusing myself, so I sat down in my mama chair, took a little break, watched that video twice so we have a good idea, and I will show you how we cut them in a moment. And then based on some other ideas that they gave in their video, which again, that'll be linked in the description too, I went basement grocery shopping. So they mentioned coconut oil a lot. I have some coconut oil and it says it has a buttery flavor. Plant-based, non-dairy, 0 carbs, 14 grams of fat. Okay, so then one of the ideas in the starter book, and that they mentioned in their video also, is about using brown rice, or if you're blood sugar sensitive, I'm thinking through which sister, I believe it was Pearl, mentioned that quinoa can be gentler on the blood sugar. But anyway, you know me and my Sharp Shopper Mediterranean rice. I have 2.5 boxes left. Now, if I was going to do brown rice or quinoa, I would need to pre-cook those. And excuse me while I itch my forehead. Yeah, the days are rolling, right, Mama? So anyway, I was like, I can use this. I've got this going on. So I have half a box. I think I've got 7 packs. So we'll put some in different mixtures. I also have organic rice cauliflower blend, and this has all kinds of good veggies in it. Carrots, look like some red peppers, mushrooms, of course, cauliflower, broccoli. So I grabbed several bags of that. I also grabbed a bag of just broccoli, and then a pretty much non-starchy vegetable blend. Sorry, lots of noise, except for the carrots in there. Anyway, broccoli, cauliflower, orange, and yellow carrots. I thought I had squash in there, but maybe that's yellow carrots. Okay, anyway, all good, all good. So, lots of other good veggies. See, that's what's at the bottom of my rooster bag. So I will actually, I'll put some things back in there while we go through and cut our parchment paper. And I was wrong, I do not have any squash and zucchini left. Now I have butternut squash. It's harder to cut, and I do have some spaghetti squash. But I think we have plenty to work with, and we have a variety of meat. And so we will do a mix of the S Hangry pockets and the E-meal ones. All right, here we go. Let's do something. Okay, so we are gonna do the pizza chicken Hangry pocket first. It says diced chicken breast or tenderloins, which I have a bag of tenderloins. Generous amount of frozen veggie blend, and I do have several of these ready to go. And then it says rice, cauliflower, salt, pepper, 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar-free pizza sauce, diced olives, if that's your thing, some pepperoni, some grated mozzarella. So I will check for some pepperoni. I know I have some shredded Parmesan, but I'll see what else we're gonna throw together here. This is probably 3 pounds of tenderloins, and I've never made these before, so let's see. This is some olive oil spread, so we'll spray that too. And it's always, you know, touch the meat, wash your hands, touch everything else. I guess you'll just have to watch me. Walk back and forth. They did talk about using already like diced to dice your chicken up. Okay. So that's 2 tenderloins. That would be good for a meal. I'm like, should I be doing 10 of these at a time? Okay, back and forth. Washy. All right, so I'm gonna do some more coconut oil on there, and then we will do, let's see, this is the, what do they call this? This one is the pizza chicken. Sounds good to me. So I actually, look at this. I have a mozzarella and provolone blend that was in my refrigerator, so yay for that. I feel like a rich woman. No pepperoni, that's okay. So they talked about cauliflower rice, so I'm gonna do just lots of veggies on here. And then we will also do some of the seasoning blend. But I can't be a classic Jamerrill overfiller because we have to get this thing to, however we're gonna fold it. Okay, so the seasoning blend has onions, celery, red peppers, green peppers, and parsley flakes. Get another towel. So, looks delicious. Okay. So then, do you see that? Okay, so then we folded it. Oh, and they tucked it at the bottom. Okay, so let's see if we can reenact this folding action. So the idea is you're making a steam pocket, and you can cook these per their directions from frozen or defrosted. Oh, it's working. Oh, I just love it when things work. Isn't that nice? I think I overfilled it too much. And I cannot wait. We will, let's make one of each, okay? This will be fun. And the thing is, for my family folks here, they're either gonna not be interested, or the novelty of this is going to be so amazing. They're very interested, so we shall see. But I'd like to get a few bags for the freezer filled. Okay, this has worked very nice, this whole little parchment paper folding situation. Cute, it's precious. But look at that, our first pizza chicken Hangry pocket, not packet. Okay, so I'm gonna get my marker here and get going on one of these bags. I'm just gonna write pizza chicken. And it is May. Do you know what that means? That means we have made it. We made it through April, and we are making it through May. I am proud of us. We are doing so many things. So, okay, I'm gonna put this in here, because again, we want to make samples, but we also want to get these in the freezer. Nice. Okay, first one in, and I'm gonna see, probably get 4 or so. So let's go again. Driving me a little crazy for a minute. Let's just start again. It doesn't have to be complicated, but then again, let's make it. Okay. So, fold twice. Nice. Another shirt, folding twice is nice. Okay. pockets done, and I'm going to put our sample one in my little small oven here. I've got it on 400. I believe they said in the book if it's defrosted about 15-20 minutes or so. We'll walk over and check it. But anyway, for right now, putting that in, it's supposed to be a wonderful pocket of steamed yummy goodness, so I'm excited. I think next, let's do some e-meals. I have some tilapia, and we have the rice and the other veggies, and so yeah, I think we'll do that. Fish and rice Hangry packet, it says 1 to 2, 1 large, 2 smaller fish fillets of choice, the tilapia or another white fish, lean salmon, 1/2 to 1/3 of a cup of cooked brown rice or quinoa, handful of spinach, diced tomatoes, other non-starchy vegetables like zucchini and such, salt, pepper, any spices, lemon juice, a teaspoon of butter or coconut oil. I am just going to murder a couple lemons here like how we do, and we will squeeze those on the fish. And of course I do have those rice blends. I've got a lot of veggies here too. So we're just gonna shove as much as we can in these Hangry pockets. I tell you, in my mind, every time I go to say it, I see packet, I see pocket. And I have to stop for a minute and tell my brain which one we're saying. So that's a fun little quirk from my mama brain. Okay, so I got the spinach, I got these little organic cauliflower blends, again, 99 cents at Sharp Shopper. Got another 1.5 seasoning blends. Let's open up. So, if you're new here, I like a store called Sharp Shopper, and I get these boxes for $3.99, and there's 4 of these packets. And how many? Okay, each one is probably 2 cups. That's what that looks like. Just clean up a minute. Okay, and I also have my mixed veggie blend open here at the top. So we'll just see what we can shove in. And I'm using just a smaller amount of that coconut oil. You can have, I believe it's 5 grams of fat in an e-meal. Wrapped. Looks like they are. Okay, so this is a 4-pound bag. Let us see what's happening. Okay, how many are in here do we think? Looks like maybe 16. Are they thin enough? I wonder if I could get away with putting 2 in. Not sure. Let's get going and see what happens. Per our usual for everything in life, right? Once I see it laying down on the pocket. Yeah, that looks pretty big actually. I don't think I could get 2 in there. 1 is about 4 ounces, and that would be 20 grams of protein. Yeah, so it's about perfect. Okay. That pizza chicken pocket is making all kinds of good steaming noises. All right, so I have to get a new little routine with this. So let me just do my little teaspoon looking amount of coconut oil. And then I'm eyeballing, this said, okay, up to 3/4 of a cup. So we'll say that that's good. Okay, and then some spinach. And then I had one of these that was almost done. It's the cauliflower blend. And then we'll use up the last of this veggie blend. Doesn't this look beautiful? Oh, and I forgot this lemon. But I am doing it. That's what I like. I don't have to be the fastest, but I like to show up and get it done. Get my marker. Okay. I've been hearing about these in the THM universe for years. I'm so glad to finally be doing them. Okay, oh, my one little seam's a little wobbly. Okay, let's just make faces here. We want to trap the steam in. The cooking process is what this looks like. These are going to be so nice to have prepped and ready to go in the freezer. I did 2 of the thin fillets in this. We'll see if we can wrap it up though. It's just because I have 16 in the bag and I don't know. I mean, I would like the 16 pieces of fish. We have to cut the hearts. Okay, anyway, let's give this a try. We'll see how it works out. But isn't that pretty? And over here, let me get my little, got a hot pad somewhere. So we'll use that. Let's take this out. Oh, it smells delicious. Okay, I'm not gonna be mad about that. I'm gonna let it sit though. You can see, look at all you see the steam bubbles in there? And the juices. I'm just gonna let it sit and do its thing while we make this next pocket. Here is the pizza chicken, and boy, it looks and smells absolutely delicious. And I'm just cutting into it right here at the stove. Totally the place to do this, right? Looks good. Okay, let's not put a massive piece of chicken in my mouth. So good. Here's the fish and rice pocket. I am not the least bit hungry after finishing the chicken one. And of course, that would be an S meal and an E meal. And I don't always care. I do crossovers because I run and all those good things. But I'm just not hungry. But we will let this steam a few more minutes and open it up and have a look at it. Hangry Pockets, turkey taco Hangry Pockets. That's what we're doing today. I tell you, my big batch cooking projects, they just keep on a-spinning. And we are doing it. So, because it's a new day, and hello, other food at my house, I do have some zucchinis. The zucchini pile has been refilled, and I thought for these next batch of the Hangry Pockets that we're doing, I will just chop up a couple zucchinis. To do these, let's see, they call it turkey taco Hangry Pockets. Still pulling a few things together. Alrighty. And I also plan to still do, they have a Philly cheesesteak Hangry Pocket, and I have the sliced chicken that's kind of, I don't know what's the quotation marks for. I'm trying to do Philly cheesesteak, but I also have that thin sliced chicken that you can use in the chicken cheese steak kind of sandwiches. Okay, that's where I'm throwing the quotation marks at. So, got some more seasoning blend from downstairs. We have some more of the cauliflower blend. I've got some broccoli, some mixed vegetables. We've got black beans, we've got zucchini. I want to just take this turkey. It says ultra lean, ground turkey or venison, break up so it's not big clumps. 3/4 to a cup of black beans, lots of veggies, tomatoes, peppers, we're going to throw some zucchini in there, mineral salt, onion powder, cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, hot sauce, teaspoon of butter or coconut oil. So that's what I should get is the coconut oil. Okay. Well, random pork, we'll take that. So I want to get this meat. I guess we will use the fork for this. I wanted to get this ground turkey. Now, what would have been really nice is at Sharp Shopper, they had the ground turkey that already had the taco seasoning. Alrighty, so for the quick cooking, they said for the turkey to not be in any clumps. And I think I am out of cumin, but we might just use like a little, how much did they say? Oh, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay, that sounds sensible. We just might use a little bit of like taco seasoning. I think what I'll do is let's mix our seasoning in this meat. And I believe this will be 4 pounds, right? Is that a pound? Yeah, this will be 4 pounds of ground turkey. And we'll see how many we get from that. How many Hangry Pockets. And then for dinner tonight, I had a couple different dinners in mind for my folks here, but there is another recipe. I wrote it down. Okay, it's the Tuscan cream chicken. It's an S meal and it's on page 80 of this Trim Healthy starter book. And also, several of you have asked me here and over on Instagram, as far as their other books, Turkey Blood on My Hands, We're Going to Wash, what's the next best book to buy? Of course, I still love their original book that had no pictures in it and was like the thickest phone book ever. I read it like a novel. So I loved it. Anyway, the next Trim Healthy Mama book that I would suggest is their book called Trim Healthy Table. And the recipes in this starter book are from a variety of their different books, but I believe the Tuscan cream chicken is from Trim Healthy Table. So that's just like a sampling of the recipes that you'll find there. But it's on page 80 of this starter book. And I believe, I was thinking through it, I don't think all my folks are gonna necessarily like seeing the spinach in it, but we have huge broccoli fans. So we're going to, of course, bigger that recipe and switch out the spinach, which I would love, for broccoli, so more of my folks eat it. Okay, now I'm gonna go wash and clean. Alrighty, so I wash this knife just in case we need it. And this will now be the turkey towel. Put that over there. And that's for a smaller amount of meat. We're gonna measure in tablespoons, right? Because that's what we do. And we have 4 pounds of meat. Okay, another clean towel. Anyway, so personal trainer time this morning. I took my toddler with me, and he loves working with mommy and exercising and running with mommy. So that is fun. I did not run this morning, but we did our weights, did our strength training, worked on those exercise balls, and he had a really fun time. And then I took him to a nature trail, and we saw the mama duck and the little ducks, and that was lots of fun. And then I went to the chiropractor, just telling you my whole to-do list for the day. So it was an out and about morning with my youngest, and those times are always fun. And then we came home, got some other stuff done, and now he is having a nap. And I'm back to these Hangry pockets. So we're just gonna keep on working on things and keeping on, right? And I do have, I think I shared with you already, a 5K race this weekend, which will be lots of fun. I'm excited about that. So I will run this evening. It is Thursday now in my filming matrix. We'll run this evening, and again, I did an hour of strength training today. Tomorrow I have some gentle exercises to do, but no big running. And then Saturday morning will be a big group run. So I just like having fun things to run towards. Alrighty, I think this is pretty good. And then the beans, I'm just gonna get a couple of these draining because we have lots of other veggies I also want to shove into this. Okay, just while I have a moment, put these away. also have one of these packs of rice from the other day, and it's not gonna be like even a half a cup, so. But still use it. Okay. Coconut oil open. Okay, I don't think. Okay, we'll actually use a teaspoon for our coconut oil. And here we go. Turkey taco variations. Oh, our spray. Okay, grab the salt and pepper, but the spray is here. So, look at us go. Okay, and so the way they word it is just break it up so it's not in one big clump. Well, that's where our fork can come in handy. I did find a purpose for your fork. Okay. Yay. I'll have to like really talk through this one to invent how we're gonna make it. Okay, we got some zucchini, that's good. Let's do, they said 1/3 of a cup to a whole cup of beans, but I'm gonna put some rice in here, so we'll call that probably half a cup. We'll call, it's not a full handful. It was a half a cup handful. And then we will shove some of this veggie blend, and then let's do a teaspoon of coconut oil, shove some more veggies. It's a technical term, right? And then there's a little cauliflower rice and some of those veggies. Okay. Well, that looks really pretty. So, and the pizza chicken one that I did the other night was fantastic. And then I put some more salt and pepper on there for myself. So, okay, that's really pretty. And remember, now you all just watched me fold a bunch of these. So, in real time, I have to remember how I folded them. I really doubled over. Look at us, doing so well. Still lots of room in here, though. I feel like okay, let's just do some more veggie shoving, because shoving some extra veggies in here won't hurt nothing, and I feel like there's some room. Let me tell you how to do this, right? Well, I don't do it exactly this way, because I've been doing one type at a time. If you had a big assembly line, and you were doing like 2 or 3 different types of Hangry packets, you could load your freezer bags. You could do like some variety bags. Like put a turkey one in there, and a pizza chicken, and a Philly cheesesteak one. And then when you set it out to defrost, you would have a variety of meals to run through your oven for the next day or two. Like if it was for some what I call mama lunches, or what have you. Now, I don't always need a lot of variety. I get on kicks and kind of eat the same thing. I think it's from all my years of leftover eating. Like if I had a pouch of the turkey taco ones, I would just have that for like lunch, dinner, maybe breakfast the next day, or that following lunch. But making variety packs too, and we could still do that. I have all the other ones we've done in the freezer, but I don't need to do that. But if you would like to organize yours like that, you certainly could. Okay. And get 2 spoonfuls of beans. rice blend. Seasoning blend. Coconut oil. And they had said about the splash of hot sauce. I will probably do that like on cooking day, just to prevent me from running to my refrigerator for one more thing. And let's shove, got like these ice blocks from my cauliflower rice. Let's see. So we are moving on to our, hey, mama needs to feed kids time of the evening. So this is the Tuscan cream chicken. It is over here on page 80 of the Trim Healthy Starter book. And as I already mentioned, as they say here on page 80, is this recipe was one of their biggest hits from their Trim Healthy Table cookbook. Of course, I'm expanding it. I'm changing a few things up, not getting too off track, but I don't have the fresh spinach that they use in this recipe. I've thought about using frozen. I think I'm just following the creamy chicken base here. And then over in my microwave, I have 2 bags of broccoli steaming, yay. And so we'll either, I'm gonna see how this looks when we're done. We'll either mix in the broccoli in place of the spinach, or we will have it as a side. So what they call for: garlic powder, Italian seasoning, dried oregano, some mineral salt, chicken tenderloins, which I have, and their recipe calls for 1.5 pounds, and I've got a 3-pound bag, so we're gonna do that. Butter, coconut oil, chicken broth, heavy cream, Parmesan cheese, which I have some in a bag. Look at this. Or they say the little green shaky can is fine. They use glucose, which I can't pronounce it. It's like glucosamine. It's so very wrong. Don't listen to me. Anyway, it's a thickener they use a lot of, and I haven't had any of that for a while, but I have had xanthan gum, and this is what I use for a thickener. So just some kind of natural thickener there. Then they have spinach. They also give the idea of a couple tablespoons of sun-dried tomatoes, or if you don't have any, just chop a tomato or add some olives. Or they're always really big about, you know, make it your own, and we know how to do that around here. So to get going, we are going to mix our dry ingredients. It does say in the directions that the recipe moves fast, so to line everything up, so we're going to get that going. Get some butter going in our pan here. I really want to add the broccoli in with this. It'll kind of become like a chicken Alfredo if I do that, just to bulk it up, because lots of folks. Okay, so we're just sprinkling this, and then I will wash my hands again here in a minute. Just coating all the chicken. That's my broccoli still singing to us. I'm so hungry now. So this is my 17-inch Lodge cast iron skillet. and I doubled their recipe. Didn't do the spinach, didn't have fresh spinach. Also, I know my particular folks will gobble up broccoli, like all of them. So from that the beach video and our meals from that trip, and I thought it was funny when I was watching back through the footage, I saw my toddler's hand come and like get broccoli, and then in another shot I saw him put some broccoli back, but he had been eating gobs of broccoli. But then when his food came, he's like, okay, I'm gonna give this back to you, Mom. You hold my broccoli and let me eat this now. He is a big broccoli fan as well. Okay, friends, so this is what's left at this moment. Several have gotten seconds. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the tenderloins left, a little bit of the broccoli. It thickened up nicely. I ended up using, let's see, 2.5 teaspoons of the xanthan gum. And so, yeah, there's 2 people that just got theirs that I think are gonna come back for a little more. So, 3 pounds of chicken, 2 pounds of broccoli, a partridge in a pear tree, no leftovers here at the Mega Mama household. I guess next time we should do 6 pounds or so of tenderloins and 4 pounds of broccoli, and then we might have enough left for the next day. Okay, and so just because this sounds good to me now, and I turned to this page randomly, page 176 in the Trim Healthy Starter Book, it is their Easy Chocolate Milk. It's a fuel pool, which means it can go with an S meal or with an E meal. And I'm going to make myself some right now, kind of like my little after dinner dessert. Okay, so it is a tablespoon, oh, it's a teaspoon, teaspoon. Let me behave here. We'll use the other side of the teaspoon from that coconut oil. We will get back to working on those Hangry packets in a minute. Then it is, let's see, is this frozen? Is this frozen almond milk? It is not. Okay, a cup of almond milk. I am using a oversized cup, but I am only going halfway with that. And then a little bit of sweetener. They have Gentle Sweet, which is the blend that they sell. I have my Walmart monk fruit, but I have used their sweeteners. I just need to put another order in, but this is their Pristine Whey. It's unflavored protein powder, and it's 1 to 2 tablespoons. So it is 20 grams of protein per scoop, but I don't know how big their scoop is. Anyway, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons. Their scoop is probably more than a tablespoon. Someone can comment and let us know. Here's what it looks like, and I'm gonna whisk, whisk, whisk. All right, and I have had one of those little frothers, those little, like a little mixer with batteries, and I've used it for different drinks like this. I should change my batteries, huh? Anyway, let's see if I can just hand whisk this. Aggressively hand whisk. Nope, going in the blender. How can a mom get some chocolate milk around here? Okay, here we go, and that frothed it up a little bit, so it looks like even more. I like that. There we go, fancy dancy. Okay, so for the Philly cheese Hangry pockets, and there's a picture of it, it's delicious. Talks about using sliced roast beef. Pre-cooked works better, or you can use lean ground beef uncooked. Break it up so it's not in one clump, similar to the turkey taco one. However, I don't have the roast beef sliced down and the beef for the chicken available how I thought I did. It has been used, and that is okay because people used it. Yay. So I do have some more ground bison, though, that is defrosted, that I was going to use in another upcoming recipe, so I'm going to use it for this. And then we're going to use our seasoning blend. And then we'll use some butter, and I have a mozzarella provolone blend that we'll shove in these. So yeah, let's tackle this next. So here's the final verdict with dinner. I was just putting one little serving in there. There's one chicken tenderloin left, and the broccoli, and the yummy creamy sauce. Just getting the last little bits I can. But yeah, I would say that was a hit. Always shoving all the vegetables in all the food. So I do have 3 smallish zucchinis, and I am going to eat these Philly cheesesteak Hangry packets, and I'm shoving some zucchini in there as well. They say to shove peppers and onions and any other vegetable you desire diced. Zucchini, they say, works as a great filler, so that's just perfect because I have some. And then my zucchini stash will be out. That is okay, because we've been using it in all kinds of good things. And I'm going to finish these, and then I'm going to get my run in this evening. So that will be good. And so I think we're going to use the 3 pounds of ground bison and put some onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. Pretty much how we mixed up the taco meat, turkey taco, in a bowl. We will just go ahead and mix up this ground bison in a bowl. And then I have some more bags of the seasoning blend opened, and then I have my mozzarella provolone cheese blend. So these will be equally good to get prepped and in the freezer. So I just added in onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper. I'm going to stir that up now, and then we will get going with our Philly cheesesteak inspired, even though it's really a ground bison cheesesteak, haha. Get these going. Shoved with zucchini. But I do think that little spoon is precious, but just took the watch off, so you know it's getting serious. Oh, but we are doing this in a precious bowl. It's only 3 pounds of meat. So fun. Friends, what I want to do for you now, and happy new day by the way, enjoying a hot tea this morning, is I'm going to run 4 of those Hangry pockets through the oven, and I have some other folks here who are interested in eating some as well, and I'm going to show you how each of those delicious pockets, I tell you, the pocket and the packet, it gets me. Anyway, let's look at how they look and taste once they come out of the oven. I have 2 varieties, I believe, in my refrigerator that are defrosted, and then we're going to do 2 other varieties from frozen. So let's get them and pop them in the oven. And it says here on page 143 of the starter book, on a cookie sheet, 400 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes for the defrosted, the thawed packs, and 35 to 45 minutes for the frozen. So I'll probably just put one variety up on the top rack and the other one on the bottom, set a timer, we can do this. And then I believe I did the pizza chicken one the other day and showed that to you all. I remember eating it and it was delicious. So I got one of the fish and rice pockets. We did it right that time. And this one we're cooking from frozen. And I've got the timer set for 20 minutes for our ones on the top rack. and then I will move up that fish and rice. Thank you for letting me talk through this little to-do list, and we will set that timer for about another 20 minutes or so and go from there. I don't know where my little homemade oven mitts have gotten off to. Alrighty, they are very hot. Just pulled them off the pan. So this is our Philly cheesesteak variation, and then this is the turkey taco variation that we made. This would be in the S meal setting, and this would be in the E meal setting. And now we're just waiting for the fish and rice pocket. So Philly cheesesteak one. Now I could have dumped it out of the parchment paper. I'm multitasking here, okay? I'm multitasking, so it's easy to just plop the whole thing in the bowl. But, so this is the, air quotes, Philly cheesesteak, life of the party, with the ground bison. I'm just eating ground bison at the moment, but I'm trying to get cheese and zucchini too. Yeah, this is delightful. I'm not mad about this. And that seasoning blend that we put in there with the onions and the peppers, all good. Alrighty, friends, so my timer just went off for the fish and rice. Pull this out and have a peek inside. Obviously gonna be too hot for me and for you to touch it instantly, but let's do it anyway. Only I do it, you don't do it. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, I can't wait for you to see this. Sorry that my back is too big. But look at how beautiful. We open the little steaming door. There's our nice little fish and rice pocket. Yay, THM Hangry pockets, huh? And so many different ways you can just tweak these and make them work for you. So we are doing a bunch of dinner freezer meals. I am so excited. That's some ground bison that I just brought up with some current inspiration. The first thing we're going to start on is big batch chicken pot pies and shepherd's pies. And then I have a whole lot of ideas. We'll see how far we get. I've got about 5 hours this afternoon into the evening to get a bunch of cooking done. I'm hoping for massive freezer meals. I mean, we always end up with massive something. Let's go down first to the grocery store in my basement and gather up some supplies and get cooking. The first thing I want to do though, so this is not the meat that's defrosted in these first recipes, but I know we're going to get to this ground bison, and so I'm going to just get this going in some cold water, and if it's still partially frozen and we get to it at some point this afternoon, that's fine, because I will start cooking it that way, but no reason why to not have it sitting here defrosting for a bit. Now the meat that we're going to start with is I had a bag of mystery pre-cooked chicken in my freezer, and then I also had a bag of ground turkey and a bag of ground beef from just at some point over the past year when I was cooking, and those random pre-cooked bags of meat got put in the freezer, whether it was a project I didn't finish or I was just had cooked some extra ahead and figured I'd use it later. So gonna get this soaking. Now we do have about 20 quarts of our home canned chicken. This is chicken that I raised and we home butchered and we had in the freezers, and then we canned it in 2023, so I want to get this used up. So besides the chicken that I have defrosting from the freezer, the rest of the chicken that we're going to use if we need any more in today's video is going to be our home canned chicken. In addition to the big batch pot pies that we're going to make and the shepherd's pies, which it's been a long time since I've done shepherd's pie, and I've been joking, we're calling it prairie pie because we're using some ground bison within all that. I also have a list that I would like to do big batch chili, big batch spaghetti sauce. I know we just did 30 quarts the other week and I used what was left doing a bunch of baked spaghettis and baked ziti's, but it does not hurt for me to use these ingredients and have spaghetti sauce ready to go. Also, big batch taco meat, and did I say, oh, big batch sloppy joes All of these are staples for my family folks, and if I have these in gallon bags in my freezers, we will use them, and you will see them in many upcoming Large Family Meals of the Week videos. So for the chicken pot pies, I don't think I have any mixed vegetables in the freezer. I have broccoli, I have okra, I have cauliflower rice, and the tomatoes that we're getting to. So I believe we're going to use canned vegetables for that. And let's see here. Looking. I know I set out that chicken and such to defrost. Also in here, I got 1 gallon of milk left and some almond milk. So I need to do a little Walmart grocery pickup if you're just following me. Using up what I can from my basement grocery store, but only filling in with necessities. But what I'm going to do, I do have probably 15 quarts of home canned potatoes still in my canning pantry. I'm going to do homemade mashed potatoes with the home canned potatoes. Now, doing mashed potatoes with home canned potatoes, they're still good. It's not quite the same as doing it with fresh potatoes, but I've done it before and we've eaten it, and I think the consistency for on top of a shepherd's pie is fantastic. I'm not worried about it. So we're gonna use up some of those potatoes for that. I'm gonna get a variety of mixed vegetables, and this is shepherd's pie and the chicken pot pie. Basically, I need mixed vegetables for both. And now I can use some of my home canned potatoes though, and I see some home canned corn. I'm getting excited. You're playing with me. But as far as within the chicken pot pie, I can have chunks of potato. And I'm also, what I hope to do is do a bunch of the filling, and then we'll use our freezer biscuits in like a 9x13 pan. I'll do the chicken pot pie filling. We'll top it with freezer biscuits. That will be the pot pies. And then when I want to do chicken and dumplings, we'll use the biscuits cooked within that too. Okay, let's get going. Alrighty, so this bag I'm having a teenager carry up for me, and this is a variety of sweet peas and some mixed vegetables and green beans that we'll use up. So then you can see we have some corn back that way, some corn over there, taking up this corn, and then we will just start the process to load up potatoes. Saw some potatoes over here. I had a friend over and she was telling me how she would just love to help me like strip this room bare and just go at it with a deep organizing. So anyway, we're getting there, and using what we have, what we can up is helpful. And then we will be all fresh for a new year. I do feel like I need more potatoes. Alrighty, so this is what we just brought up from the basement. We have home canned carrots, lots of potatoes, some corn. This chicken was already up here because I started thinking of this project the other day, so here we go. Hey, there's some applesauce that also needs used. And then we got good old Great Value canning, can't go wrong there. Some Great Value chicken broth, because we are not yet back in our broth making era, right? Then some of our mystery meats, so that's ground turkey, this is ground beef, ground chicken, and again the bison that I already had defrosted, and then the ground bison that's currently defrosting. Okay, so I love the past me of 7 years ago that was so good about getting these big batch recipes up on largefamilytable.com, because all I have to do is go to my notes, go to my recipe notes. So it's about 8 pounds of shredded chicken. Let me see, and I'll link this below. I actually have, I was just looking, I have 4 or 5 variations of big batch chicken pot pies over on the blog. This particular recipe that we're following makes 4 11 by 18 pans. Who were we? I love us. Okay, so anyway, we are making the filling, and then we're going to freeze it in the gallon bags. We've discussed this. Thanks for chatting. So it's roughly how this is written, 5 pounds of frozen peas, carrots, and corn. We're going to use a variety of our home canned items. 8 pounds of pre-cooked and shredded chicken. And so eyeballing my amount of chicken, I probably have, I'm guessing, 3 to 4 pounds from the freezer, and then we're gonna continue on filling in with our quarts from there. Then 8 cups of butter, a tablespoon of thyme, 8 cups of flour, 24 cups of chicken broth, 8 cups of milk. So let's get going with this and make something happen. Okay, so I had to think through which pot I thought would be our best friend. I think we can do this here. Come to upgrade pots. So 16 quart pot, 30 quart pot. I'm rusty, what can I say? But hey, look, we made our sauce, and I'm just gonna use my 4-cup measuring cup here and just ladle it in, dump it in, and then we will have room to actually add in the chicken and vegetables. So, okay, this was a good warm up. What's left. I'm proud of us. We did that. I had someone walk through and I had to move my camera for me. So life is good. We wasted very little. I did not burn my face, which is nice. We're doing things. So this is about 1/3 of the way full with the sauce. And now we have room for the 8 pounds of chicken and roughly 5 pounds of vegetables. So look at us, we're doing things, right? I'm going to drain some things. Going over here. This is the chicken that has stories to tell, but not enough chicken. So it's shredded though. It was cooked at some point. I'm just gonna shred this up, go ahead and dump this in. And then I have the carrots. Now, when I canned the carrots, I canned them in like long matchstick type, which was easy canning. So I'm just gonna chop those quickly also. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in our big pot here. I have a variety of things here. I think I'm gonna do these carrots first because I'm just gonna take a butter knife and cut them. And then we'll drain the corn and some potatoes and sweet peas. Let me get a butter knife. This little fun thing is what I use to get the jar lids off, and I will link one for you guys. I know lots of you have asked me about it. Oh, there, carrot. There we go. Add it to my stack over here. We'll pretend like the dishes aren't there, okay? We can do that. Just might as well use it up, right? Okay, so I would say this is a good 20 quarts of pot pie filling. Now we're gonna get started on these shepherd's pies. Now, I am using my home canned potatoes. It's been a little bit, I feel like at least twice I've done mashed potatoes with them, and I don't have a recipe with tips and tricks over on my blog. But let's see here, I'm gonna pull the name up. There's one, loavesandishes.net, so I will link her tips and tricks down below and her article on making mashed potatoes with home canned potatoes. She's got some neat tricks, just such as we're gonna drain the water off and we're gonna cook these again in some fresh water, and we're gonna just follow her list. We're just gonna obey and read directions from here. Alrighty, so I'm trying to combine all of my ground meat in this bowl here. I don't think we need the 30 quart bowl, but I have been wrong about volume before. So I just put the ground turkey in, the ice maker's talking to us, then we have our other bag of ground beef. And then at some point I got about 5 pounds of the bison also cooked up. So we're just gonna mix all of this together and then layer it in our pans. I'm also, next up, I was just reading you about the home canned mashed potatoes situation. So we're gonna get going on that too. And I have decided, you know, as I do these big videos and as I work through my day, work through mama life, work through all the things that are happening, we assess, right? And I just had a little fill-in grocery haul that I'm gonna film for you guys in another video. That little fill-in grocery order for the next week, I spent about, I think, $154. So I'm going to film that, just letting you know what I'm doing with my time, right? So we will need to bag up our chicken pot pie filling, make the shepherd's pies. Then I'm going to do, I think, about 7 to 10 pounds of sloppy joes, so that we will have 2 days of sloppy joes here and have enough to freeze. And then whatever ground bison is left, I want to go ahead and cook up for upcoming big batch cooking projects. That will follow in another video as well. Alrighty, and deep discussion going down this afternoon about shepherd's pie. Now, I've never made mine with a gravy, but I've been discussing it with the internet, and apparently some people do. So gravy on meat is delightful, and so I'm gonna do, I'll link this below, over on largefillingtable.com, I've got a freezer gravy, I call it, but I freeze all kinds of gravy. Anyway, it's 2 sticks of butter. Let's see, this batch, it's a cup of flour, and it ends up being about 8 cans of, sorry, I don't know why I held that on for so long, 8 cups of whatever broth. I have chicken broth. It will be delicious. We'll also throw some onion powder and salt and pepper in here. And then I'm just going to mix this with our mystery pounds of meat. I think we've got about 10 pounds of meat over there. When I link my big batch shepherd pie recipe below, and again, the freezer gravy recipe will be there too, just know that I'm adding that to it in case I don't get to the blog post to say, hey, I also did this variation, and here's the gravy that I used. So we'll just let that butter cook. I've got my onion powder here. I have, we made onion powder out of the Egyptian walking onions last year. I was trying to remember how I did it. I'm pretty sure I put the Egyptian walking onions through the freeze dryer, and then we just used the Vitamix and I made them into an onion powder. And so I do have garlic powder there. Yeah, so we'll just continue to use that up as well. So I'm adding a little project, adding a little step to this. And if my voice is down, the day, the afternoon, the evening, I guess it's evening, it's almost 6 o'clock. Sheesh. I did get my run in earlier today. I had over 15,000 steps before noon, and you would think that the steps just continue to rack up, but when you're cooking and doing kitchen projects and stuff, at least for me, I don't get a ton of steps because I'm just kind of in the same space here. Anyway, got my run in, and I'm glad about that. We're working through these projects here, and we are gonna have sloppy joes for dinner. I've already told my folks that, so they are very excited.
And so now I am just adding in my chicken broth and continuing to whisk, also adding in some garlic powder and seasonings there. And yeah, it's just the process of whisking away, continually whisking the gravy, making it all it needs to be. And now I am draining out the liquid from the carrots that we canned and the corn that we canned. And I'm also opening up other cans from the grocery store in my basement that we needed to use up as well. And we are just draining all of these things. And then we will use them in our big batch cooking dinners that we're doing. Now I'm walking all those drained veggies over to my 30-quart mixing bowl and adding those in with our ground meat.
I think I did lie, because one of the 30-quart bowls would have made for the stirring of all of this. See, I wasn't going to mix all of this together, but then once I committed to the gravy, I'm like, all of this just needs to go together. So we will do a layer of the shepherd's pie mixture, and then the mashed potatoes, and then we'll top it with cheese. So this, don't tell, this is a little 6 p.m. cup of coffee, but I will still sleep tonight, okay? I also had a little evening salted caramel lilies. This whole situation, there's a few pieces left, okay? I had some other folks sharing with me. So I'm not going to stir my coffee with the carrot fork though. I know you're glad. Okay, let's see about getting the gravy over. Which way would be best? I think because of my burn history, we're gonna carry this over there instead of me carrying the hot pan over here. I think that's how this is gonna work. Let's see, okay. We're doing this. Still think I'm gonna lift this and dump it. Let me close a few things here. We got a little bit more on the sides. Okay. Trying to get every last drop, right? Liked a double batch of gravy, but still good. We're still getting the gravy effect here. I feel like I have my oar in stirring my boat of gravy.
But that's okay. If you need a friend that can stir a boatload of gravy, as I like to say, I'm your girl. So I am taking a minute there just to tidy up our work area and wipe things down and get some things put away. And then we will definitely continue on for here. I just wipe as I can. And yeah, I just gotta take a moment to do a little mama tidying up. I've got some pans I'm gonna wash up, and my pot I'm going to get soaking. Get some scrubbing bubbles, some scrubbing action going with all of that. Some things I do take the time to hand wash in the middle of my cooking, and then some things just have to go in the dish stack to be processed. So this was my adult evening bad decision, okay? So yeah, I was heating up some coffee left in my coffee maker from this morning, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing a pantry and freezer challenge. I have Starbucks iced coffee, see the logic here, that I got at Sharp Shopper for $1.49. It needs used up. This is all for the pantry challenge, and I don't know that I'm going to drink all of this, but I mean, the shepherd's pies are calling us, so, and look, that looks so beautiful. It just seems like the thing to do.
No problems here. I'm just gonna juggle my iced coffee carelessly on the side of the sink, but it'll all work out just fine.
So now I'm just opening up these potatoes and I'm getting them drained as well. The recipe that I was using for some additional inspiration talked about draining the canned potatoes and then bringing them to a boil in some fresh water. Of course, she was referring to store-bought potatoes, not home canned potatoes, but I appreciated her extra tips and tricks, and I will definitely link that down below so you can click through and get some inspiration if you've got potatoes in your pantry. I have definitely made mashed potatoes with my home canned potatoes before, and again, it's just different. They're not going to be super fluffy, but on top of something like a shepherd's pie, it's absolutely perfect. I will also link for you down in the description below my recipe for mashed potatoes for the freezer. And so here we are getting several pans full of our prairie pie mixture. I started out thinking I was going to get 4 full pans, and we end up getting 6, and several of those are deep dish. I had a friend ask me the other day where I got my 9x13 deep dish Pyrex, and that was at my local Walmart. So I will definitely link that for you here in this video as well. And then I have some other 9x13 dishes and a Pioneer Woman dish, and then these are the 10x15, and they are a deeper dish also. I believe they're by Pyrex. I have collected those from Walmart as well, and they are just perfect for the shepherd's pie. And let me tell you, this is such a popular item at my house. I'm so glad that we made several of these and got them in the freezer, because I know one night a week for the next 6 weeks, dinner's already done. Okay, so look at this Mega Mama math. Looks like we are getting 6 deep dish shepherd's pies. Alrighty, so I have one of my adult sons here, and I am going to have him do the business of draining those potatoes for me. So there they are, drained and back in the pot. Okay, we're gonna add in butter. That's about a stick and a half. In her recipe, again, that I'll link below, she's using 1 can of, I believe, store-bought, like canned potatoes that way. But I thought this would work out pretty well. I like tips, especially for my brain. Okay, garlic powder, onion powder, Parmesan cheese, sour cream. I have some grated. Well, we're using provolone because we're using what we have here. Eyeballing as we do, as we should. Alrighty. Get another wooden spoon, and I am totally eyeballing. I have not been doing the multiplication and such with her particular recipe. That is fine. We have, what did I use? 8 quarts of canned potatoes. Anyway, it is all working out. It is all good. And then she has us adding milk at the end once we get these mashed up based on the desired consistency. So I like all of that. She did have add in shredded cheese, and sour cream. At this point, I am mixing everything up with my wooden spoon and then just doing it the old-fashioned way with the potato masher. And then here in a few minutes, we're going to get out the immersion blender and use the immersion blender a little bit on these big batch mashed potatoes. And that still works well, so I'm proud of us. And here I'm adding in some more heavy cream, and we are going round and round with the immersion blender. And now we are going to top each shepherd's pie with mashed potatoes. And I have gotten some questions on what happened to all of the provolone that we processed in a big batch freezer cooking video and meal prep before this one. And well, a lot of that provolone got used on the topping for these shepherd's pies, as well as other breakfast sandwiches when I did some breakfast freezer cooking and daily sandwiches and all the things you need a whole bunch of shredded cheese for over about a week and a half period or so in my household. That's what it got used on. So we're going to top each of these with that here in a few minutes. These mashed potatoes turned out so very good. And I spread that layer out and then top it with provolone. So here we go. We got our shepherd's pies covered, and this is delicious. I have been eating what is left of the potatoes on my finger, scraping out the bowl. They are just absolutely scrumptious. So there will be no complaints here. Good. Timer going off. Okay. Absolutely delicious. So I don't have any shredded cheese right now, although of course we could do some. Hold on here. Let me juggle my dishes around. I do have some of the Parmesan that we sliced down the other day. Sorry, my back is too. So I was just gonna, not Parmesan, provolone. I was just going to put some provolone on it, and whenever I bake these in the coming weeks and months, the cheese will melt over the mashed potatoes. That will go over the meat and the gravy and all the delicious things. So it will be a beautiful thing. So we'll just pretend that these thick provolone slices are shredded cheese. And I'm trying to get to doing big batch sloppy joes, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to also bake up one of these to show you. And there are enough people here that will also eat a shepherd's pie over the next day or two with no problems. I've already been getting questions about the delicious smelling potatoes. So let's just do that. It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one? I guess I'll like this one. Why not? Okay, I've got a teen helping me wrap up those shepherd's pies now, and I'm gonna get going on big batch cooking a bunch of this bison. So we use several pounds of ground bison to make some delicious, healthy, homemade sloppy joes. This is a super duper favorite with all of my humans here, and I figure I can make this in big batch. Everyone can of course have as much as they would like, and then that will also give me plenty to freeze for one of those days or weeks where I need extra help feeding the humans. I will thank myself for having a gallon bag or 2 gallon bags of sloppy joes ready to go. All I do is set them out to defrost, or in a pinch, I can even do the cold water defrost method on one of those gallon bags. And the sloppy joes could, in a real pinch, be heated up, just the meat in a microwave, but I could also dump it in the slow cooker to warm through, or warm it through on the stovetop. So this was a new meat masher that was just delivered. I just did and filmed for you guys a little Walmart fill in the gaps order where I spent $154, and it's mainly milk and such, but I got this little meat masher. That's the brand. I've needed another good dependable one. I got several years out of my other good old faithful one. I'm hoping this one, this is good. Anyway, so I just washed this off. So far, so good. And you just gotta love a good meat masher. You know, for years I was like, oh, I don't need one because I have my spatula, but you all have spoiled me with the meat masher. I do really like it. And my other one I probably used for 4 or 5 years. I've had a few meat mashers since then, and they just have not been the same. So we're giving this one a go. And so far, so good. So far, so good. And now I'm just adding my seasonings and a little salt and pepper to the meat too. But I have found the ground bison to be very lean, just like the grass-fed cow that meat that we have enjoyed. And so I'm adding in some blackstrap molasses and some mustard. You can also add in ground mustard. I'm doing a can of tomato paste, and then we'll also throw some ketchup in there and mix it all up and let it continue to cook through. And I was testing it, and I will say it's absolutely delicious. Now, there's times when I use the Swerve brown sugar substitute, and that's more on my Trim Healthy Mama plan when I do on plan sloppy joes. But this was still healthy and delicious with the blackstrap molasses. And here's a look at everything we did. So we did the 10 pounds of sloppy joes and the 17-inch Lodge cast iron. We did 5-gallon bags of homemade pot pie mix that I will put in 9x13 pans, and we will use our homemade freezer biscuits as the topping for those. And then we did 6 shepherd's pies, prairie pies, several of those deep dish, and one I baked up for dinner on this night as well, to show you just how delicious all of that turned out.
Well, friends, we are going to have an adventure. I am going to set my timer for about 2 hours, and I'm gonna cook as many big batch freezer meals as I can in that very small window of time. How did I get to this small window of time? My life. But that's okay, because I still think within nope, I don't even get 3 hours. Within 2 hours. See, this clock is counting on down. I still think I can make a pretty good dent and get some freezer meals in the freezer. So let's just start cooking, and I'll tell you what is happening while we get going. It is 12:21. I'm trying to set this timer for 2 hours, which will be 100. Oh, I don't think my timer goes to that. You know what we have to do? I'm gonna have to do like that 99. Yeah. Okay, so that's a little over an hour and a half. We really have a 2 hour window. But people live here, and I'm going to also clean up as I get ready for my brief work time. So the first thing we need to do is to get more ground beef up, because somehow I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we are making big batch chili, and we are gonna do big batch sloppy joes, and we're gonna do big batch taco meat with, I don't know, 20 to 30 pounds of ground beef. Maybe not, can't do math right now, but I can shop for ground beef in the basement grocery store, so let's go get that. And it's going to be frozen, and the lights aren't turned on in this room, but that's okay, because we're doing it. So I'm gonna get some more ground beef. I do have some ground beef defrosted, but I'm gonna get some more cooking. So anyway, and I am totally planning this on the fly, and I am hollering to the other side of my room. So, okay, if I had 5 pounds, I think I have 10 pounds of ground beef upstairs defrosted for chili. And if I could do 10 pounds of ground beef, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we'll call this 10 sloppy joes. And then taco meat, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now, these rolls from the full cow that I just picked up, so these ground beef rolls are 2-pound rolls. So that is 20 pounds of ground beef in that bowl. Look at us. Alrighty, so we're gonna wash these peppers. And we're gonna use them up. That's my cup, I need to wash more. So a variety of peppers in here, just what we need. So there are some liquid peppers in here now. And I have, let's see how far back you've watched my videos. Several weeks ago in one of my Meals of the Week videos, I had pulled out, I think it was the last time I went camping. The video's called You Can't Keep a Good Woman Down. There you go, that was it. It's all coming back now. I had pulled out during that week a bunch of tomato products. Of course, not home canned tomato products this year. Great value, and some organic from various places, tomato products that were in the grocery store in my basement. I pulled those, and so that's been 2.5, 3 weeks ago now. So today we're making that chili, okay? This is great. I don't give up in life, I just keep going. Eventually I get there and I get the thing done. This is what I'm doing now. Now, I have a fun family afternoon, like family date type afternoon planned for me and my kiddos. I was going to take them over to a lake and fish today, but I knew with some work I had to get done today, I just couldn't do that. It's an hour each way. I wanted to have a fun outing, but also low impact on mom. So we are going to the jump park. I know that's like, how's that low impact? But I'm not jumping. And I might gently work on my steps, but anyway, it's not as far away as fishing, and it'll be great exercise for them. And then we're gonna go see that, is it called The Wild Robot? We're gonna go see a movie. And so that will also be lots of fun. I'm going to get this cooking done first, and then we will go do those things. We're actually going to eat out tonight, even though I'm cooking right now, but I am cooking for so many days and weeks to come. And I'm thinking now with these peppers, my goodness, if we can process all of these peppers, these would be perfect for chili, and I can slip them in the sloppy joes, and they're no problem in the taco meat as well. And those are just like when I don't have freezer meals. Now I do have some spaghetti sauce in the freezer, go us. When I don't have freezer meals, I go back to my core mama basics that I have been doing for decades. Always the taco meat, always the chili. Sloppy joes is in more recent years, and then the spaghetti sauce. But again, we've got a good base with that. And these are just staple meals that we can have. There honestly could be a 2-week period where all we do is live off of these staple meals, as far as like dinners and then leftovers for lunches. Me taking hopefully 2 hours today to get that done, I mean, that saves my life for 2 weeks. Isn't that amazing? So we do have, maybe we've lost 4 peppers, but that's pretty good. So here you go. Those are all those beautiful locally grown peppers, and I had a small part in growing these peppers. Let's see, I put some of them in the ground, and several of them I pinched the little heads off. And of course, my friend Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead helped me with that, because I messaged her and I was like, what's the little thing with pinching off the tops of the peppers? And she helped me out, so that's what we did with these peppers. Okay, and so I'm thinking about things we can mass produce for me to do these 3 big batch meals. I can get all the ground beef cooking. As I said, I have 10 pounds defrosted, we have 20 pounds frozen. Let's get that cooking. Then we will chop up all of these peppers and a bunch of onions, and I will saute all of those. And then we will start putting meal components together. Big pot of chili, pans of the sloppy joes, big pot. I'll probably use one of my Dutch ovens for the taco meat. Then we'll get the 30 quart, thank you. You are planning on the fly with me. So 30 quart pot is downstairs. That'll be for the chili. This 16 quart, you know it's my favorite. Like, I'm gonna will this to one of my kids one day. This 16 quart fancy Frenchy pot that I use every day, we will do the taco meat in. And then the sloppy joes, well, we might use this 6 quart Lodge, or it might take 2 of those smaller Dutch ovens, but I need to run now and get that 30 quart pot for the chili. And along with that, we can probably use that 30 quart to do the 30 pounds of ground beef in while we're prepping the veggies. Okay, help me not forget, we came down here for the 30 quart pot, but what I'm gonna actually do is 2 different pots of chili. This is how things grow. I'm gonna do a general healthy homegrown chili for my family folks, but I'm going to include a variety of beans. And then I'm gonna do a ketovorish kind of pot of chili. That'll be smaller, that's kind of more for me and my mama meal prep, that has the tomato products and the beef and the vegetables, but not the beans. Okay, okay. All right, and I have a variety of beans there, and I have some canned black beans that we did, and I have some canned corn.
So these are all home canned things. Please stay there, box and like it, that we can add, and we can stretch this chili a little farther. I will say that even though I haven't been doing any active canning currently in this season, my folks are still doing a good job of using up our home canned jams, which is so nice. So now I'm probably not going to be able to carry this in the pot upstairs, but we'll give it a shot. Alrighty, and this is what I came down here for. Probably be better to put the cans in here, but oh well, we're doing it. Good thing I work on my physical fitness, right? Alrighty, so first step that needs to be done to do these big batch meals is the meat. I will probably need to run some hot water over these ground beef rolls here so I can get the plastic off of them. Okay, they will be cooked from frozen. I know we're gonna have cooking fat in here. I'm just gonna throw some olive oil at the bottom, and I'm going to get the 10 pounds that has been sitting in my refrigerator judging me, but that's okay because we boss things around too. We're gonna get that going first. And then hopefully here in a minute, I can get wrapping off of the other 20 pounds because basically we'll use 10 pounds of the grass-fed farm-raised ground beef in the chili, 10 pounds of sloppy joes, 10 pounds of taco meat. And each of these is, for my household of 10, a 30-quart pot of chili would be 4 to 6 large family meals. The taco meat, I should be working while I do this. 10 pounds of taco meat would probably be 4 to 6 because we get a couple dinners and a couple lunches out of it. Same thing with the sloppy joes. And these are just, again, I am always so thankful. I was so thankful when my life blew up. Well, I was not thankful that my life blew up, but what I was thankful for is that I did have freezer meals that we had made throughout the summer in the freezer. So those first 4 to 6 weeks, we had chili, we had spaghetti, we had some good, very basic meals in the freezer, ready to go. I will wash these scissors. And then as life continued to amplify and I just couldn't cook for a season, I then ordered Walmart freezer meals and got into the, the Costco lasagnas and all of that, but that was fine. That's what we needed. We ate, and we ate at home much of the time. And I needed help, and that was the kind of help I got myself. So, and then from there last winter, I was able to slowly start cooking more like how I like to. I love to cook for my family. I love to cook a big pot of something and get several meals. And, my family is used to having the same thing for dinner 3 nights in a row. No one would complain about that. That's just how I've always done it, especially back in the days when I worked as a charge nurse and such. But also using my freezer, we could do, 2 nights of dinner and freeze the rest. That's what my plan is with these big batches. I will probably leave something for dinner for the 2 nights that follow this filming. That follows for the next 2 nights after this filming, because again, we are actually going to eat out tonight for our fun family evening that we have planned. I might even take y'all along with us. That'd be fun. But dinner all the other nights is looking down at me, and so it'll be good. I've wanted to do this video over a week ago. It started with I was going to do a big batch freezer cooking day where I just take a whole day. That didn't materialize, and I'm like, okay, well, how could I do this on a smaller level? Well, what if I took 4 hours? Don't worry, this towel will go in the laundry here when we're done, and I'll wipe my counters and stuff down properly. But in the meantime, we're cooking. I'll do 4 hours, and it's just whittled down. Got other things tomorrow, a whole new week's looking at us, and I'm like, okay, well, Saturday, I could at least take 4 hours before we go to do our afternoon activities. And then, because I'm a working mom, 2 hours of that 4 hours already gone.
already done. So anyway, we have, but we're doing it. We're doing so much good prep now. We have 66 minutes left on the clock, and we're just now getting our beef cooked. But, so we don't need to leave here till 2:15, and it's 1. So I have about 75 minutes. But I'm talking to you through it. We are doing this. I think we can do it. I think we're going to do it. Our jump park time, I bought our tickets yesterday, starts at 3. I wanted to leave here about 2:15. Okay. It's good. It's so good. Alrighty, so we are just gonna mass process these peppers. I should grab some onions real quick too. And I get lots of questions about why not use the food processor and such. I just feel like dealing with that or chopping it is kind of 6-1 with the way it has another. Righty, put our peppers in here. Okay, onions are done. Folks ask me how I do that without crying. Of course I did cry, but that was emotional. But I have contacts in. They're not colored contacts or anything like that. Folks also say, are those your real blue eyes? These are my real blue eyes. But I have contacts in, and that does give a pretty good barrier for me when I'm chopping things like onions. So that took about 15 minutes. Now I just need to go hard with the rest of these peppers. But I'll probably go ahead and get this sauteing in something just to get it going. Hey, we've got big cast irons. So great for camping, and gonna be great for 2025 camping adventures. Will be very nice and very much appreciated. Okay, just let this get started doing its thing. Now we will get back to those peppers. here, and we are going to stir that meat. I love that giant wooden spoon a viewer sent me a bazillion years ago, and I used it until it died. I really need to get another one of those because I used it so much, but I don't have it today. And I do have big poofy flannel sleeves. Anna Green Gables would be proud. To turn this heat down. We do have more peppers to go. Let's see what I can figure out. Well, I do have my giant meat masher. I think it was in the spatula. Maybe I put it over there. Okay, let's see here. All right, so our 30-quart stock pot, not full, a little over halfway full, 30 pounds of farm-raised grass-fed beef is continuing to cook. We at least got it stirred up a little more there. Peppers are going. Now we got to recalibrate our time. So yeah, I put back the green pepper and we got this beautiful, I'm just gonna call it rainbow pepper. I don't know what variety that is, but it is beautiful. Alrighty, we're gonna go dump this load because this cutting board is full, but look, we have so many more left to do. Okay, let's keep pushing. All right, our ground beef is a-rolling. Hear that boil? I'm gonna just stir these up now. I'll probably turn this back on low. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, our low is low. So I was just looking at that time on the microwave, analyzing. I've got 6 minutes till the microwave timer goes off, and I've got 18 minutes or so until we leave. Guess I'm just gonna chop, okay, 5 minutes, 44 seconds. If you can hear me, I'm just gonna keep chopping. I'm just gonna keep chopping until this microwave timer goes off. 5 more minutes, and I'll just stop. And that will be that. And me and my folks are gonna go have a real nice time. And then tomorrow around the edges, we're gonna finish this up. I mean, we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna find out what that is, and we're gonna find it out together. Alrighty, so we have less than 2 minutes left on the microwave clock, and my folks are coming in all spit shine for a fun afternoon and evening out. So I'm gonna leave directions. Actually, my mom will still be here this evening. I'm gonna let this ground beef continue to cook down for a bit, and I'll tell her when to turn this off. And I will continue to saute these peppers until I walk out the door here in a few more minutes. I will take you all along to see some of the fun evening festivities. And then tomorrow around the edges, can't stop us. We're gonna keep working and do this thing, aren't we? It is, friends, a whole lot of ingredient gathering. We did our ingredient gathering the rest of the way. I will add this to the other box of tomato products I gathered a few weeks ago. We chopped, I don't know, 37 peppers instead of 57 peppers, and we are still cooking through 30 pounds of ground beef. I am proud of us. We are living it and we're doing it. Okay, and this box coming around the mountain here, this goes with this box. We're gonna see these ingredients now tomorrow morning.
Getting my high-end YouTuber tripod ready. So yes, friends, good morning. It is coffee o'clock. I don't know if I feel like we've quite got 8 hours. Hopefully it's close. I'm going to get that ground beef cooking through again. We added the peppers to that ground beef and got it down in a refrigerator overnight. And it is a happy new day. Get to open another Nut Pots creamer. Big update, love the new robe. Love it, wasn't sure how it was gonna go. Wasn't sure, you know, how we would talk to each other and get to know each other, hear this nice robe in me, but I've gotten to know like where the pockets are. All the new little life updates. Got our nice thrift store cup in full force. My coffee just has to travel with me. Okay. This is how things are looking this morning. So before too much gets going with the day and while my house is still quiet, I am shuffling over with my nice hot coffee that loves me so well in the early mornings. And I'm getting my journal and a book that I'm slowly reading through and my Bible. And I'm just going to sit here with my feet up, hopefully for a good 30 minutes or so. I mean, forget the to-do list and everything else that's coming at me today. I gotta have this nice little precious morning coffee time. I will get up a time or two and poke at that ground beef that we're heating through. And I did have one of my teens last night bring one of my roaster ovens upstairs because I'm still thinking at this point in our recalibration here, our readjustment, our flexibility, that I think I'm going to get the chili going potentially in a roaster oven. And I think we might do the taco meat maybe in a 10-quart slow cooker, and the sloppy joes maybe in a 7-quart slow cooker. Well, just stick with me throughout the morning. We're going to see how it goes, but I think I can accomplish this if I get those cooking through in those devices and those nice kitchen tools, and we'll go from there. Let's see what happens. You will be just as surprised as I am. Alrighty, so I've got my little stack set up here with a variety of things that we got. I have made the choice that I am not getting ready yet to get this stuff cooking because my house is still quiet for a little longer. If I get ready, then I will be out here cooking this in a breakfast kitchen situation. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get 3 different meals going: our chili, our sloppy joes, our taco meat, and go from there.
picture called I Can't Find My Jar Lid Opener, and that's not great. Just did my first jar lid with a butter knife. I heard rumor that my jar thing has been seen, but we cannot find it right now. So that stinks, and this is not pretty. I've already got my robe christened with some black bean juice here, and this is not how you should open these, but I googled and I've only ever used my jar lifter, so don't try this at home. This is not medical advice. Well, we sealed them well. Got it. Well, that was much better than that first go round. I'm low on tomato sauce products. We knew this would happen, right? I have a lot of diced tomatoes, so I've been putting a lot of diced tomatoes in here. I put several jars of tomato paste. Hold on here, I did this. I've actually put in several jars of butter beans, which I know sounds wild. They're like large lima beans in a sauce. It's what I have in the pantry that I'm working through using up besides these black beans. I did put, I had a few little cans of pinto beans. And it is time to get a roll in. People are up and getting ready. I can get under these corn ones, I feel like, a little better. I'm not applying pressure with my thumb. I'm just doing that to kind of steady myself. Whew. Well, this robe will get its first bath. It's been christened now with corn, black beans, little corn pieces. This is a clean towel I just got when my first jar of black beans attacked me. Scraping my fingers along the side of that glass, but we are okay. We are okay. So let me know when you can't find your nice little jar popping tool, which the only way I know to keep a hold of some things is to just have two of them. I've had that one for a decade now. Ouch, I did hurt my little finger. There we go. Okay. Just can't quite get that without racking my knuckle over it. But, I mean, we're testing our seals, right? Ta-da! I'm so committed at this point. I mean, there's no going back. Still gonna put our ground beef in there. That's probably good. A lot of ground beef, a lot of seasonings. And now, yes, I'm just gonna have to be happy with getting this chili going, seasonings going, cleaning up this mess, getting ready for church, getting my folks out the door. Well, keep watching more. We're going to find out how this is going to go. Right now I'm thinking, okay, well, we're going to come home from church. We're going to have chili. Hold on, let me get my seasonings while I talk. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, we're going to come home from church. And hey, look at us. We meal prepped. Lunch will be done, dinner will be done, all of that is great. I'm literally going to dump what is left of this nutritional yeast, which is probably, oh, since my timer's going off here, okay. We're good, we're actually good on time, I just gotta keep moving. This is probably about 1.5 cups or so. Nutritional yeast has nutritional benefits, and it has kind of a cheesy flavor, so it's easy to dump in things. This is a 20-quart roaster oven. I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of chili powder. I should just be measuring in half cups and cups by this point, but this is where we are. I may add a little more later. And anyway, then I'm gonna clean up for a minute, go get ready for church. Oh, we gotta put the meat and the veggies in here too. Like I say, I don't have, you know, a dozen babies here. I have 1 toddler, but everybody else is able to get themselves dressed and ready and teeth brushed and ready to go. So that is good, but I'm gonna get myself and him freshened up for the day and make it out the door. Okay. All right, that's good. Now we will need to get meat in here. That will be a little bit of a circus, but hold on. Okay. This is second cup of coffee now, yes. I'm going to just use this pot and dish over what I can. I'm hopeful, we are always hopeful. I'm hopeful that after I get ready, I can get, I can get other things going in the slow cookers. But I know I do need to pause now for that get ready step and to help some other folks. So we'll see. Again, we're eyeballing about 10 pounds or so of ground beef. All right. That is messy because I use jars. Okay, now I'm just going to mix it all up and put it on low. I have 2 other folks who will be here while I take a crew of folks this morning, and then I will come home and we will have this for lunch. I do think we need more tomato saucy things in here. Well, I do have tomato paste in here, so I may have to just trust that process. I might add in some more tomato paste too. That's looking more, getting more of that chili look here. Stir, mama, stir. Diced tomatoes should be used in something, so why not slice? Alrighty, so we are back from church. We got the bowls out, we got the spoons set up. Folks are playing in the leaves, and it is a nice, happy time. We cannot eat this yet, though, because it is a boiling, and that is okay, though. I'm going to stir it, and it's cooked. We did it. And actually, I did have some folks run through when we first got home and do some quick lunch options. But hey, look, we meal prep for future things, and this will be eaten. I know it's not a problem. It's just not come in the door and eat this second. And then I'm going to show you, I just had multitasking mama while sitting at church today. I was able to put in a Walmart delivery order. I mean, it's what we need in life. And I was able to have things like crackers for chili delivered, because those crackers I got before we got camping when I was going to make this chili 3 weeks ago, so long gone. I also got hamburger buns for coming up for this week for the sloppy joes that we will have in a few days. Let me say something about the sloppy joes too. Many times when I assemble those as freezer meals, I have the pre-cooked ground beef and I just dump the sloppy joe ingredients into the bag. I freeze it that way. Later when I defrost it, I will get back to the grocery list. Later when I defrost it, I dump all of those like a dump and go freezer meal, how I like to call it, dump it in the slow cooker, and everything cooks and blends during that time. So That's also another option, and that may be what we end up doing today. And then taco meat, I mean, it could all be done the same way as long as the ground beef is already cooked and drained first. That being said, back on my grocery list, they didn't have the Swerve brown sugar substitute. I might have some in my cabinet, but again, I was away from home and I was using the Rolodex in my head as to what was in my cabinet. So I went to get some more. They didn't have any. I did get some Swerve granular sugar, which is not regular old sugar. 'Tis the season. I got a bag of like party candy, and I ordered 2 12 packs of Brisk, and I had one delivered. So Walmart app, click, 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 already got a refund on that second one. Figured they would have chili and crackers. But the chili's done. Hey, look, we meal prepped. This is a 22 quart roaster oven and it's about full. So we will definitely, again, it's like, how many meals is this? For 10 people, this is probably 4 meals or so. So 40 to 50 servings, roughly. I'm not totally drilling down on the math right now, but if you were feeding a smaller group and you wanted to know, and you're like, okay, well, if I get 40 to 50 servings out of this, and I have a family of 5, that kind of gauges how many, again, rough number, freezer meals and future dinners you can get out of this. Or if you're having 20 people over for an event, you can kind of think through with your chili that you're making.
Friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and doing over 300 servings of massive freezer meals for my household of 10. The best part for you as you follow along with all this big batch freezer cooking, it doesn't matter your family size. There are folks that follow my big batch recipes. Maybe they're a household of 2 or 4. They just end up with many more servings. My big batch freezer cooking guides over at shop.largefamilytable.com will hold your hand and guide you through making 30 to 40 big batch freezer meals. But most of those guides also have a smallish big batch recipe edition, and what that means is it's additional directions you can follow to just do 10 to 15 freezer meals, whatever works for you. I love hearing from empty nesters who cook up a few of my recipes and they'll end up with many servings for many meals to come. I also love hearing about when folks use my big batch recipes to feed large groups of people. I've heard from viewers who've used my big batch recipes to feed veterans dinners. I've heard from viewers who've used my big batch freezer cooking guides basically as a cooking curriculum for a home that housed teen mothers and their children. And those moms would take a weekend once a month and use my big batch cooking guides and make many meals for their freezer to feed themselves and their children in that home for the weeks to come. And those reviews are super special to me. So thank you again for doing all this big batch cooking with me. I'll see you real soon with another brand new video. I appreciate you. And please let's chat in those comments below. Bye-bye.